Hi, my name is Penny Chasko, and I'm going to share a little bit about myself with you. So here we go. Let's get started. Okay. A little bit about me. I'm married. I've been married 22 years now. I have two children, one dog, and two cats. I started my career early on in Arizona in early intervention. I was working with children with from birth to 3 with disabilities. And a lot of that time was either center-based, so the students came into the school and received support in an interdisciplinary setting with OT, PT, and speech. And then I also did home-based services through there. Many of our students live too far out into rural areas outside of Phoenix. So in order to get support to those students, we would drive weekly out to their house to try to teach the parents how to work with their child given the toys and materials that they had in their home in an effort to minimize the long-term effect of the disability or the long-term impact of the disability. Many of the students that we served in those settings were students that had recently moved off the reservation, and the families moved from the reservation, many of them from either the White Mountain Apache or the Navajo Reservation, in order to be closer to the medical facilities that they needed for their child. And so we spent a lot of time working with the parents to help them so that they would have the skills that they needed when they moved back to the reservation in order to continue working with their child with their therapy disciplines that they needed or required, with their feeding and just their overall developmental needs to help them be more successful when they were working with their child on their own. From there, I also worked in the preschool setting. This was in an inner city school in Phoenix, and it was teaching students that were monolingual English and monolingual Spanish. We brought them together into one class in an attempt, this was a very early attempt into bilingual education at that time, and attempt at that point to integrate and provide community outreach to students and early identification of those students that were new to the area and did not have English instruction in their home in order to better prepare them to enter school at the kindergarten level with a certain level of English proficiency. Also taught at that time in Arizona in an interdisciplinary, it was called a varying exceptionalities classroom, which was a self-contained classroom that served students with multi-age and multi-disabilities. It could be students that had visual impairments, students that may be identified in what we would call autism now, which had many different names at that time, children that had learning disabilities, children that maybe had early exposure in utero to drug and alcohol abuse. And so all of the students were put into one class. If they required self-contained services, they were put into one class, and then different disciplines came in to support them, whether it was the vision teacher, somebody teaching them orientation and mobility, OT, PT, speech therapy came into those classrooms and worked with them. Also taught in co-teaching models, small group models, both in the elementary and middle school setting. Also did homebound support for students for whatever reason that weren't able to attend public school, many of them due to their medical needs, and then more recently due to their behavior needs. They had been exited from public school temporarily due to violence or self-injurious behaviors, arrest, whatever the case may be. So this coming year, I'm actually going back to the middle school setting. I had an opportunity last year to open up a severe and profound self-contained classroom. Unfortunately, I found out last week that that classroom was shut down due to not having enough students enrolled for next year and pending budget cuts due to funding issues. And so I'll be moving back to the middle school, teaching 6th grade math and reading. And so that is very exciting. I've taught in 3 different states, in both the inner city, as I mentioned, suburban Title I schools, and in more affluent suburban schools. So definitely a wide range of school settings as we have moved from state to state. Let's see, education. I have my Bachelor of Science degree from Arizona State University, my Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from Arizona State University. So I did an undergraduate in exercise science and psychology I had planned to be a sports psychologist for professional teams. I went to school and had classes with Phil Mickelson, and for some reason I thought I was just going to graduate from my undergraduate degree and get picked up by a pro team being their sports psychologist. So clearly that did not work out. And so then I continued on to get my master's degree in special education from Arizona State University. Oops. Let's see, my goals for this program and overall is to have develop a better understanding of curriculum and the implementation process, to be better able to evaluate the different types of curriculum that's available, and to be more effective and more informed decision maker. As I encounter new roles and have new inputs in classroom education and what works and what doesn't work, I'd like to have that under a better understanding when we are meeting in teams and across grade levels and in countywide meetings, to be more informed and be more effective at being able to make decisions and being able to determine or understand how to determine what works, and also to identify what doesn't work. And also ultimately to be an advocate for children, whether it be children with learning differences, neurotypical children, whatever the case might be, just to be able to advocate for children and that we're providing the best quality of education that I can provide for them. Oh, I keep messing that up, sorry. And this is really my why. So these are my two kids, Channing and Deshay. So Channing will be continuing as a legacy at Arizona State. My husband and I both graduated from there, and he will be an incoming freshman if all goes well this fall at Arizona State, majoring in business. And my daughter Deshay is entering her third year at Mississippi State, and she is a biomedical engineering major and also a member of the famous Maroon Band at Mississippi State. So this is my why. This is the reason why I continue to take classes and continue to work and to continue to work in the field of education, is to show them the importance of education, the importance of continuing to be a lifelong learner, and to hopefully set an example for them to never stop learning and to always try to learn more, gain more knowledge, and to make a difference. So hopefully I'll be able to achieve that. And this class will definitely help to put me in the right direction. So I look forward to working with everybody this semester, and I hope you all have a great summer and at least have a chance to relax and enjoy. Take care.